Hi everyone, my name is Ahmed Huamde. I'm a grade 12 student in the ENG 4U class, and today for our summative assignment, we had the opportunity to explore a wide variety of Canadian literature. And so in this class, I had the opportunity to read Moon of the Crusted Snow by Wabisha Grice. This was an excellent novel. I'm so happy I had the opportunity to read it, and so in today's podcast episode, I want to be able to do a quick book review. So let's start off with the positive and what I thought was great and excellent about this novel. This novel was extremely descriptive and used lots of sensory language, which I thought was really helpful to kind of help bring audiences into the novel. And so to show you this and to represent it, I want to read a quotation from the novel Moon of the Crusted Snow on page 97, chapter 16. And it goes, "The angle of the sun was getting lower as the days crept closer to the winter solstice. Sunlight bounced off the pure sheen of the snow that now lay in deep piles. The wind had dropped and the air was brisk and peaceful. It nipped in nostrils and carried the smoke of furnaces and fireplaces from one end of the res to the other. It was an idyllic winter day, even with the official beginning of the season a few weeks away for those following the calendar. The solitude comforted Evan as he leaned against the side of the truck, smoking." So as you can see, that gives you a little taste of the writer's style throughout this novel, and which I really liked was that that descriptive language didn't just end at the beginning of the novel. It kind of truly did transcend throughout the entire novel, which was really great. And that level of description truly took audiences and the reader into the novel and really helped us imagine what that scene looked like. For example, from that small quotation I just read, I was truly able to get an understanding of what the res looked like, what with all that snow and the sun coming and bouncing off of the snow and, smoke in the air from chimneys and things like that. So that's one thing I truly, really liked about this novel. Another positive of this novel was the character development. We truly got to understand each character and their backstory. So even though the story does follow Evan, who is our protagonist and main character, we truly do get to understand, we truly do get a complex understanding of every single character in the community. So we not only get to understand Evan, we also get to understand Nicole, Evan's parents, Aileen, an elder in the community, and so forth and so on. So there are many characters we get to truly understand. Therefore, the character development in this novel, for a relatively short novel, the character development is immense. And a lot of that is due to that descriptive language that the writer does use. And the last thing I would like to say about the positives of this novel was the ending. The ending of the novel really did tie back to Indigenous ways of knowing and the main idea of connection to the land and your ancestral homeland. So without giving too much away, I really liked how the novel kind of started with that main idea of having a deep connection to the land that you are on, and that's how the novel ended and kind of the problems were resolved. So now for my criticism of this novel. Again, I really, really do like this novel, so there isn't much criticism, but to name a few things. The first half of the novel was a little slow. Now, for an apocalyptic, dystopian type novel, I was hoping for more action, especially more action sooner in the novel. It took a long time for the action to kind of start happening. There was a lot of foreshadowing, which was good, but it kind of took to the second half of the novel or maybe the last third of the novel for actions to start, for the actions and for the events to start unfolding. Therefore, since it also was all crammed in the last third of the novel, it did happen very quickly and some of that description was lost. My last critique of this novel would be that to have a clearer ending. The last chapter really in this novel was used to kind of help tie up some loose ends. However, the last chapter doesn't follow Evan, who is our protagonist throughout the entire novel. It follows Nicole, his partner. And though she does do a good job of tying up a few of the loose ends, we aren't really able, all of our questions aren't asked, and we're kind of left in a state of a little bit of confusion about some specific details. Now, this might have been intentional because there is actually going to become a sequel of this book that is currently being worked on right now and currently being written. And the sequel of to Moon of the Crusted Snow is actually going to take place 10 years after the ending of the original novel, and so 10 years in the future, and where we are going to be able to explore the life of Evan and his family as they explore the life outside of their reserve and down south in the land of their ancestors. So I highly recommend reading it. I'm personally going to read the second novel. I would give this novel an 8 out of 10. It's a great read. Despite the few little criticism I have, I highly, highly recommend it. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye, everyone.